everybody, my name is Michael, and today we are enjoying this beautiful September weather, how it should be, because the previous couple of days were in the 80s, high 70s, and next week, which is the start of October, is going to be 85, 86. I don't know, maybe global warming is actually happening. Dun, dun, dun. No, I was reading about it, how Chicago being close to the lake, you are getting this crazy weather change within the seasons that usually isn't as extreme, but now it's pretty crazy. Like, it's constantly bam, 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 teeter-tottering 80 degrees, then falls down to 50 degrees, then 80 degrees. It's like some people are, you can feel the pressure through migraines. You're feeling a little down under the weather, but this is how it should be. A little bit of rain, a little bit of jazz, smoking my favorite Padron. We are chilling. We're driving through my hometown, and I love it. I miss it. I want to move back to my hometown one day because I live about 30 minutes away from my hometown now, and I grew up here. I mean, as a kid, I moved a couple times, but this is something else. I spent most of my life here. As a little baby, I grew up in the city of Chicago, but I can't remember that. I honestly can't. All I can remember is my hometown. So with that, we're driving near the high school over here, not too far the middle school, just tons of nostalgia, tons of memories. And we're 25, turning 26. We are at a point in my life now where bankruptcy has gone through. We are restarting pretty much. Think of it like a little reset button. And right now, I am prepared for what's going to happen the next year, next 2 years. Oh, wow, that's a beautiful house with a nice Land Rover Defender. Boom! New Range Rover. Okay, you couldn't see that because that passed by rather quickly. But there's some beautiful houses here. I mean, absolutely gorgeous chateaus, mansions, and I mean, I don't think you could see that. But yeah, probably not the best to do it from the front-facing camera. But I one day want to return back here. Now, before that happens, being someone who's going through bankruptcy, started reading about real estate. I got to get into real estate somehow. Well, when's that? Is that in 7 years, 8 years? I talked with a client, which was a realtor, and she said, within 2 years, you can get an apartment. Like, find something cheap, you can get it, because there's two options. One is your wife has good credit, and either she just does it by herself, and, eventually we're able to work things out, or I could try by myself, but after 1 year of filing Chapter 13, and it's going to be pretty lengthy, but as a first-time home buyer, and if I get an FHA loan and an approved apartment, and then it goes to the judge, and the judge approves it, you can find an apartment 12 months after filing Chapter 13. And it's going to be very difficult. 95% of mortgage providers are not going to be able to work with you because it requires a manual review. They're not going to want to do a manual review. But it's not impossible, and I take that as a challenge. I see that as, all right, I can get a couple thousand in free money from the government, or at least assistance for first-time home purchase, and it's not impossible when you're going through bankruptcy. My income will be able to support it. My income has recently gone up, so I'm very excited about that as long as I maintain this, and the plan is generally to go from, that is something. Rolls Royce coming in. Oh, wow. I love my hometown. Oh, man, just that turning is amazing. Oh, wow. That's me one day, baby. That's me one day. And a G-Class and a GLS right behind it. And wow, that is literally Mercedes row. It is an E-Class, and then there's an Audi behind. I love cars. I absolutely love cars. I found a good dealership. I'm enjoying my time here. We're making more money. We're working less hours. Still a very good, healthy amount. And I'm excited to go to work every day. If you saw Arnold, the documentary on Netflix, if you haven't, see it. If you have, you know what I'm talking about, where you have this vision and you have to have this intense belief that, yes, we're going to find a way to get there. Now, if we're able to get there, hopefully 1 to 2, 3 years, wherever that point is, the number one thing I hope for is I got to have a starting place. Rent keeps going up. Rent is going to go up by the time my lease is done. Oh no! Oh no! 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 That's not good. Okay, crisis averted. We purchased custard from Culver's. Absolutely love it. And we were driving probably for like 10 minutes to get to the downtown area. So I went from one town where I used to work at the dealership to another town, my hometown, and unfortunately started melting. And on the very last turn, it was stable the whole time. On the very last turn, it all like spilled out, except thankfully the container that it's in is like rounded, and it was so close to just spilling all over my seats. Saved it at the very last second. Crisis averted. So I feel great today. It's my off day. I go into work every single day ready to make some money, ready to have any discussion I can with the client, because even if I don't get a sale, at least maybe that will lead to a sale down the line, or a referral, or maybe a good review, or at least something. You know, my experience is getting better, showing the managers that I care. I don't know, anything. The more people I talk with, the better chances I have of making more money. And I appreciate that. I'm very happy. Where previous dealership, I was very sad, and you know, it was a depressing environment. I learned a lot from there, but I'm happy to be where I am right now. And I'm selling a product that I absolutely love. I am a fanatic, a Volvo fanatic. So I love it. So now with this goal in mind, hey, I got to save up some money. I'm actually able to be finally in a position where I can probably save up a couple $100 starting over this next month. Getting into a new month, we're going to start saving up some money. So at least we have something saved up for the down payment. My wife will also be helping. And no matter what, worst case scenario, probably what's going to happen is we have to move apartments, because there's been a shooting. There's been cars that have been getting broken into. The community's kind of getting a little worse over there. So don't necessarily want to stay there. My wife doesn't feel safe. Want to find a slightly safer community, which is the greatest irony in the world, because it is a safe community, but it's turning worse and worse, and that's okay. So we also want to find something with one bedroom instead of, you know, two people in a studio, one bedroom. And it's also becoming a little overpriced in the area. Not only is it surrounded by all these bad apartments, yes, we have decent apartments, but the prices, they're just not worth it, you know? I mean, I could have a mortgage. I really could have a mortgage, because we're talking about paying $1,400 per month for a studio with utilities and everything. We're talking about like over $1,500. And for that, I found apartments where if I had good credit and everything, I would have gotten an apartment a long time ago, because we'd be talking about $1,000. $1,000 to $1,500, I would have a good apartment, a good condominium, and we'd be fine. And yes, that's with the higher interest rates. I've been looking, and they're out there. It's just you need good credit. So the problem is, now with the bankruptcy, it's going to be tough. But that doesn't make it impossible. And the number one thing in Chapter 13 they're going to look at in order to get that court approval, okay, you're getting a mortgage. Is it cheaper than your rent? Which in this case, yes, it will be cheaper than rent. If it's cheaper than $10, who cares? It's yours, and that's what included everything. It's not just the mortgage itself. It's including the taxes. It's including the mortgage insurance. That's including everything in there. It's cheaper than rent. So that's the goal. I have that vision. We're going to work hard. I truthfully believe we can make $100,000 next year. This year was a little crazy, so we're not hitting that. That's because, you know, for a couple of weeks was working as an Uber driver. We switched from one dealership to another, and there was, you know, a period of waiting and a period of starting up. And yeah, there were some days where I wasn't working. So ultimately that kind of hinders progress, but we're, as a household, going to be well over 100. So that's the number one thing that matters. And hopefully household, you know, we want to reach a point where we're able to successfully acquire that apartment and start investing again, whether that's crypto, stocks, whatever. I truly believe we are close. We are getting into a better situation. Yes, it's going to suck. You're going to have to pay $750 per month for the next 5 years for bankruptcy payments, but that's it. I don't have to worry about anything else. And yes, I also have to pay around $750 to my aunt, to my family member who loaned me money a couple months earlier. to get out of that tricky situation that I was in, and I'm very grateful for that. We certainly got out of it. I mean, look at where I was 3-4 months back. Look at where I was the first month that I started work. I'm very happy. I started. My only regret is I should have filed bankruptcy sooner, and I should have changed jobs sooner. But it is what it is. We live and we learn. Recently, this month, we got a YouTube payment of $100. Woo! So, you know, every single dollar counts. I'm very excited because I know that this is an industry where, as long as I show good results, where right now I think I'm tied for third place or second, somewhere between there. I'm certainly not going to hit first, but that's also because I took 3 days off earlier this month for Labor Day, and you know, my wife's family came to town. We were visiting, so every month now, just go to work, gonna try and get as many sales as I can. I want to be in the top 3 every month. Hopefully, you know, numero uno, that's the number one goal. And eventually, my sights are set on one thing and one thing only. Yes, I love car sales. Yes, I love selling Volvos, but I want to become a finance manager. I want to be a manager. I want to get into that position where it's going to be secure, 100,000 and above every year. And some finance managers, like the previous dealership, you know, I've seen finance managers. The finance manager that sold me my Volvo 2 years ago, close to 2.5 years now, he was making $250,000 then, and that was with a guaranteed portion. I think he had guaranteed $4,000 per month, and everything up on top of that was commission. But that I've seen a finance manager at the dealership I worked at make over $250,000. I've talked with people online that have made $300,000, $400,000. Now those are probably the top earners, whatnot, but I know $200,000 plus is possible if you get into finance. I know it's possible. So that's the number one thing. Now, if you're backup finance, probably not going to be there, but still, $100,000 is the end goal, and from there it's only up. So you have to have a good job, and then from that good job, you can build a secondary business in your free time. On Sundays, you know, have a secondary source of income. And that's where, even if you're not going to make $100,000 as a car salesman, let's say you make $80,000, you get to that point where you're able to start investing, purchase that apartment, and hopefully the end all, be-all goal is, as a third source of income, real estate. Real estate, you're going to make a ton of money, and then you can go full out crypto stocks and all that. So just kind of talking with myself, with you guys, it is a much better position that we are in. Finally, after so much time, I feel everything's great. Now, yes, that's the thing. We have to be careful. We have to really be on edge and paranoid, because you never know. Maybe the world falls apart again. Maybe there's going to be another war in Ukraine. I don't know. There's going to be probably some bad life events over the next year, because there's always some bad stuff. So that's why I have to focus on emergency fund, have to focus on savings, have to really tighten down my financial situation. But the number one thing was, everyone was like, oh, you know, you have to save more. Save from what? I was negative. It was impossible to save. Oh, maybe, you know, don't buy this, don't buy that for $5-10. It doesn't matter, because at that point I need thousands of dollars. Well, we're not in a situation anymore where I was 1 month, I had like, I don't know, I made like $5,000-$6,000, and I had $12,000 to $13,000 of payments, maybe even more. I was negative $6,000 plus for that month. That's impossible. You know, you make $6,000, but that's not how much you actually get after taxes. You get maybe $4,500, maybe $4,000. So it's just, that was rough. Now it's like, okay, now we got a couple $100 worth of room. We can actually get out of this. And as long as I have a good month, if I make $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, where I've seen salesmen make that as possible, then we can really start to accelerate this. So just wanted to update you guys. It's a good position that we're in. I've learned a lot, and the number one thing is we have to continue learning. We have to be motivated. We have to have this intense vision in front of us, and smaller goals ahead of that. Before that, boom, boom, boom. My really, really near goal is finally, for Cyber Monday, Black Friday, we are finally getting a new laptop, and we're finally going to be able to produce more videos, because my iPhone's perfect for making videos, but my MacBook is 7 years old. It sucks. Final Cut crashes probably 5 times now in order to actually get a video out there. So, and it has no storage. So, and the keys are falling off, and a whole bunch of stuff. For school and for YouTube, we're finally getting a new laptop. And I'm very excited, because then we can focus on YouTube. We're focused on school. So next year we're going to finally get that bachelor's degree, but in my current position, it's just as a backup, just in case. But so if I ever need to go into the corporate world, I can. But do I really want to? No, I'm perfectly fine with where I am right now. I got my end goal, be all, you have to make more money. So either be extremely good at sales or go into a management position. And then no matter how good you are, always have that secondary, third, fourth sources of income from whatever. Even if it's $100 per month from YouTube, hey, that's an extra $100. That's for gas money, that's for food, that's for anything, you know, it's for saving up, for investing in crypto. So I'm very excited because we went from being negative to being in a position where we can save up some money. And that's huge. That's a huge switch because for some of you guys, it may be normal, but for me, the past 5 years, I've been in debt. The past 5 years, I was negative. And yes, we're still going to be negative technically because of this bankruptcy for the next 5 years. But if I'm able to save up enough, I can just pay that. It's a 100% plan. I can just pay it off earlier. Maybe it takes 3 years and then it's a fresh slate. My credit score actually bounced up. It was so low. It actually bounced up when the bankruptcy was filed. So I'm very excited. And that's why we're chilling right now. Tomorrow, back to work. Last couple days, end of the month push. We are golden. It's going to be good. So, whew, I'm pumped, man. I was talking so long that it's out. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. You have a good one. Take care.